Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm Danny Vega.
I'm Sarah Levine.
Guys, we are so excited. We have a very special guest today, a longtime friend of mine. She is a writer at Fodor's Travel. She's hilarious on Twitter, Audrey Farnsworth.
Hello.
As you know, I'm a big fan of your work online.
Aw,
And
Danny.
So sweet.
You know, I know this was a while ago, but like I'm obsessed with it. So you got to tell us, you wrote an article about the Taco Bell Hotel.
Oh, yes.
You wrote, my history with Taco Bell began when I was a young child. The main thing my dad cooked was Taco Bell takeout for dinner as a special semi-weekly treat. Your dad is like as good of a chef as me, but tell us, what is the Taco Bell Hotel?
Well, it was like a pop-up thing that they did. It was kind of just like a giant marketing thing. I mean, it was just honestly a hotel with Taco Bell in it, but you know, like just a little bit. Like they had a gift shop. There was like a pool area. I went on like say what?
Was the water in the pool made of the hot sauce?
See, that's the thing. There were so many things. The reason I got invited to this was because I wrote an article, I think this is why I'm invited. I don't know. I got the email out of the blue. It could have been like someone trying to murder me, but thankfully it wasn't. I think that they invited me because I wrote a little one-off article a few months ago saying this is what I expect the Taco Bell Hotel to be, and it better live up to my dream. And so they invited me, and none of those things were in the Taco Bell Hotel.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of free Taco Bell.
Well, they did this thing where they brought out some snacks every hour, but it wasn't really Taco Bell. It was Taco Bell infused fancy food. I think they were trying to be fancy, and it was fine. But there wasn't I had to pay for stuff, and they closed. They closed the food area at 9, which
that's so not Taco Bell.
I know. Oh my God.
So that's why it was Taco Bell adjacent. You know what I mean? It wasn't Taco Bell. I don't know. I feel like I could create a better Taco Bell hotel. I'm going to be so bold as to say that.
Absolutely. I feel rent out a room at a Days Inn and buy 100 Crunchwrap Supremes.
And that's it. Keep it open till 4 a.m. You're good.
And honestly, that's all you need. That's what you need. And perhaps even if the Taco Bell hotel was an actual Taco Bell, that would be fine. People just sleep wherever, as long, give them make them the whatever Baja Blast infused with tequila, so everyone just falls asleep on the floor. I don't know,
that's just regular Taco Bell.
Exactly.
Well,
they need to be true to who they are. It's like a stoner drunk food. Passing out on the floor is so TB.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I was saying, and it was in Palm Springs, so there should have been some sort of hot springs, but taco situation where it's like you said, there was hot sauce. I don't know. My mind was going wild before I got there, and it was a hotel, and it was nice, but I had to walk to the hotel next door to get food.
Oh my God. I'm so upset. This is so not the Taco Bell spirit. You know what? I think Taco Bell is a lot like the submitters and the people who post on Reddit. It's confused about its own identity, and you got to be who you are.
Yeah. I think so too. I think that they know that they've got some sort of clout over people. They know that they're cool in some way, but they don't know what to do with it. So they just kind of throw all this souvenir weirdness out there. Do you guys do influencers like the pool? I don't know. It was still fun, but
you don't make me wish I was there. So Audrey, the other thing about you is, you're my friend from college. We've kept in touch, but let's be honest. It wouldn't even matter if we kept in touch. I'm on Twitter. You're blowing up all day. I pulled some of your tweets here, some of the hits.
Oh gosh.
Don't
nervous.
even act modest here. You've got.
Are they from like 2014?
I had to get one. I had to get my favorite one from 2014.
Okay, that's fair.
But you've got over 40,000 followers, which, fun fact, that's exactly how many Taco Bells there are.
Are you serious?
No, I'm making that up.
I believe you. I can't believe that you would lie to me like that. Anyways, go on. Sorry.
Audrey,
about me.
you
were
tweeted.
saying-
This got 7,000 retweets, Sarah. Can you believe
Oh my
that?
God.
I
Jesus
can
Christ.
believe it.
She wrote, bad credit, no credit, first time buyer, first time baby, no legs, 8 legs. You a spider? Are you a spider trying to buy a house?
It's so fucking stupid.
No, I see this and like tell me because like, you know, I see this as like a commercial on the radio when I'm like half asleep and I'm like, wait, what did that just say? How did you envision this tweet?
I drove by a car dealership and it just said bad credit, like with a question mark. And that's just like, I don't know. It's what I thought of. I guess it like that was like the first thing people got mad at me on Twitter about. Like,
Why?
well, because
They're like, I know a spider and he's very nice.
Well, like it was the first time that like something. Oh God, this was so long ago, but it was like the first time something like did well or whatever, and like then these people were like, "You copied this person," and they like linked me to like some guy that was like also kind of like doing a little commercial like that, and I was like, what? No, I didn't. Like I was just like horrified. Like whenever that kind of stuff happened, I would just be so horrified because like, for God's sake, I promise I'm never paying attention to anything else. Like I'm not like copying anything. Like, but I remember with that tweet specifically, I was like, I got people like got really angry with me, and I was like, no.
There's always someone who has to like and I used to be one of these people. Oh, it's not original. It's not original. But there's always some I put up this stupid TikTok about a shop that had no ingredients, which I think anybody could think of that idea because we've all been to a store that was out of shit.
Yeah, and you're like, how are you open right now?
And someone's like, this is the Monty Python cheese shop sketch. You stole it. It's exactly the same.
I don't know what to tell. Like, I don't even have anything to say to any of it. Like, it's just like, okay.
So you also tweeted this more recently. 7,000 plus retweets, Sarah. Can you believe that?
Amazing.
Opening my goddamn email. There better not be any goddamn emails in here.
Relatable.
Yeah, that's just how I feel when I get to work. Everybody knows what that's like. You know, they say they log in and they're like, oh man.
What did people do before that? Did they just have like a lot of Post-its on their desk from various people?
Shit.
Yeah.
That's a good, like, I guess people were on the phone a lot. Like, or like they had secretaries that like took messages for them or something. Like, did everybody just like get messages? I guess that'd be worse.
Well, isn't it weird? Because getting an email sucks, but getting mail, oh, that's so exciting. It's like a little present. What's inside, Citibank? Oh, another credit card offer. But I don't know why I open it every time.
Yes.
You also wrote 2,000 plus RTs, but honestly, this might be my favorite one. Seeing a bat is a special occasion, and I'm always underdressed.
Yeah. Well, do you want to, I was looking at a bat. So.
And he was like, man, this is a black tie affair.
Well, it's just, they're so fancy. They're flying around in the air. It was like I was visiting my parents in Arizona, you know, like it was just pretty. And they just like flew up, and it's just like, man, I'm not dressed for this. Like, you look so nice.
There is something classy about a bat. I can't put my finger on it, but they're beautiful.
They're classy.
I don't know. Danny's looking at me like I know the answers, and I'm like, I don't know. I've never met a bat.
Well, I guess I've never properly met one, but.
Well, we picked out a situation, Audrey. I think, you know, your sense of humor, it's a bit whimsical. I think that's fair to say.
That's fair, yeah.
And you're a big fan of birds. So we'll be doing a bird situation. Our second story of the day is AITA for being mad at my wife for surprising me with a baby. But first, AITA for forcing my family to dance for the amusement of my birds by yeetedToJesus.
Oh my God.
What a username.
Username.
I have 4 cockatiels. All are tame and can be handled. There are 2 males and 2 females, a pair per cage. Now,
Thanks.
if you haven't owned birds before, males tend to be a lot more talkative, and they tend to mimic things a lot easier. Now, one of these males, real name used because it's a bird and he doesn't care, Coco, is my baby. He started mimicking a lot of things I say to him. This includes things such as, Coco, no. Not in an aggressive way, similar to how you would tell off a baby trying to stick napkins in their mouth. Skirt. That's another thing.
It's skirt.
Skirt.
Yeah, it's like a noise you make when you're kind of like swerving in your car. You're like, skirt.
Oh, I've always said that. Eee.
Yeah, this is just the rapper way of saying that.
And most of all, mouth pop. So I guess that's like...
I'll allow it, I guess.
The bird does it?
The bird does it. There are others, but the point is, Coco, he mimics me. I taught him to smack his face on his perch and dance when I tap a certain way on the wall. The other male started to copy. Now, the issue. They've started shrieking if you don't dance with them. I don't know why, but they do it. They aren't quiet animals, so if you don't dance with them, you have to listen to them scream. You have to listen to them scream for over an hour. If you dance with them at any point, they'll stop. AITA for literally forcing my family to dance with birds. I can't stop them from doing this. They have a mind of their own. And no, holding them won't make them stop screaming. They're the type of birds that once they start singing, they won't stop as well.
Can I just say this guy went into like the whole genealogy of his birds and we know nothing about his family? How many people are you forcing to dance at all times?
We don't know how many people he's forcing. We don't know if there are children involved.
Yeah.
We know the gender makeup of the birds, but we have no idea who their family
We know
is.
all the birds' names.
It's clear that he doesn't think he's the asshole because he loves his birds more than he loves his family, obviously.
I mean, these birds are pretty likable. You know, they want a simple thing. They want a little dance.
I mean, yeah, it's cute.
Yeah,
it's super cute.
Also scream when no one wants to dance with me. I just start shrieking.
Like, same.
It says in an update to the post, he added a lot of edits. Too many edits. But he says the birds' names are Coco, Storm, and Pebble. And they have 2 play gyms. And he also says, guys, don't be assholes toward my birds. Joking about cooking them is fine. I don't mind that. But saying I'm a bad person for having pet birds or saying birds are shitty or just hating birds in general is not okay.
Oh, that's where he draws the line?
Oh, man, I fucking love this guy.
He's a character.
Audrey, what's your deal with birds? I've never met someone who loves birds. I only meet people who are either neutral or they're afraid of them.
You know, I just think that I guess at first my answer would be, oh, they're really silly looking and dumb looking. And I just think that they're kind of cute. Like, I think that's really cute. And like, but in reality, like, oh God, I'm going to get weird. Like my favorite bird, the crow, is very smart. It's smarter than humans. You know, it like remembers faces and shit. Like, crows, like, they are like writing a full like novel in their heads at all time. And like I just look at one and I'm like, yeah, you know more than me, dude. Like, and you know it. And it's just, and I feel like, I don't know. Whenever I see one, I'm like, hey man, like I like genuinely, like I love them. But I think that this began, and I didn't actually realize this until recently. My uncle had a pigeon coop in California. Like they lived in Orange County, and I would go like hang out with the pigeons and like let them out, let them fly up to the like light pole and like watch them and, you know, hold them. And when I was little, and I think at least pigeons specifically, that's why I like them, because most people don't like pigeons, I feel. And I understand they're like walking pieces of trash, but they're also very, you know, I don't know. I have an affinity towards them. I like them.
I mean, aren't we all walking pieces of trash at the end of the day?
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'm just projecting myself onto them. I don't know.
Well, I read online one time that pigeons are actually the same as doves. So the same bird.
Ooh.
A pigeon.
You know what? I disagree. I don't like doves.
What? Why?
Oh, they're a symbol of peace.
Exactly. They don't deserve that. I don't like them. Oh, I got really upset. I just
Did you break something?
knocked something
Is everything
over.
okay?
Wait, what did I knock over?
She
Hang
just
on.
really hates doves.
Oh my God, is there a dove in your house?
No, I don't buy it, you know? You're like the bird of peace or whatever. Like, why do you gotta say that? Like, anybody who's gotta say something like, oh, I'm really funny or I'm really nice. Like, no, you're not. You're saying it. Like,
Right.
peace dove. And that, this is coming. My first tattoo was a dove. It's on my
Oh
my
my
ankle.
God.
And I hate it. I want to do something with it. I want to cover it in vines. I don't know what I want to do, but
Just
I don't
make
trust
it
doves.
gray and then change it into a pigeon.
Oh my God, you're a genius.
Doves, there is a lot of hype behind doves, and I think it's
Yeah.
fair to blame them for that. I mean, they have an
Yes.
arrogance about them that the pigeon does not.
There's absolutely an arrogance about them. I just don't buy it. That's the whole reason.
And here's the thing too, because in New York, and I don't know if you guys have these people in LA, we have the pigeon guy. You go to Washington Square Park and there's this guy and he's covered himself in breadcrumbs and things of that nature, things that pigeons like.
Right.
And he's covered in pigeons. Are you maybe a bit of a pigeon girl?
No, I would never do that.
But you
Thank
did
God.
handle the pigeons.
I did when I was like, 4.
I see. And now age has sort of put you away.
Well, you know what? But I'm being contradictory because I did go on a trip recently where
Oh boy.
where like a guy who like was doing that like took my hand. He grabbed my hand. Very rude. Somewhat. Was that assault? I don't know. He grabbed my hand and he put a pigeon. He like put seeds in my hand.
No.
And then the pigeon landed in my hand and it was just sitting there. And you know what it did? It's everybody around me was so mad that I let this man do this. They were just like, ew, like, what are you doing? Ugh. Everybody was disgusted. And I was just like, what? And I was like kind of disgusted too. But at the same time, I was like, I'm glad I did this.
Where
I'm
were
gonna cut
you?
my hand off.
Yeah.
I think it was in Venice.
Like Italy?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you were in Venice, but then I didn't want to sound like a douchebag.
No, I know. I didn't want to sound like a douchebag by saying I was
No,
in
it's
Venice.
totally Venice. Those pigeons are something else in St. Mark's
Yeah.
Square.
Yes, that's exactly where I was.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
See,
was-
Venice is kind of classy to me, so I'm surprised it's not a dove town. But
No, they got
are
pigeons
around.
everywhere, dude. I spent my entire Venice trip filming pigeons. I'm serious. I put them all on Instagram and I called him the Merchant of Venice. And I had a fantastic time. I paid attention to nothing I was supposed to pay attention to. I was on these trips. It was for work. Yeah, I wasn't, whatever. I was filming pigeons. They know that. I came back and I was like, I filmed pigeons. They're like, fuck. Like,
Going back to the situation here.
oh, right. Yeah.
Forcing my family to dance for amusement of birds, in case we lost the thread for you listeners. Joshua C. says, I don't need any other info. You're an asshole. They can dance if they want to. They can leave your birds behind. You don't force a person to do something just to entertain someone or something else if they don't want to.
How aggressively do we think this guy is actually forcing people to dance?
When you say force, like, is it like they can't eat dinner unless they dance for the pigeons? Like, or is it like, hey guys, can you do this really quick so they'll like stop screaming?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and who encounters a situation such as this? Dance for the birds lest they'll stay upset and goes,
Lest.
No.
Right.
I'm not going
Like-
to. I mean, where is your sense of wonder?
Exactly. I mean, clearly there's something else going on because if you're just going to deny doing such like oh, this is the thing I have to do. Like, if you're going to deny that, you're upset with somebody else. You don't like your husband anymore. You don't, you don't like whoever. There's something else going on where you're like, I resent you, so I don't want to dance for those birds.
I think this guy's an asshole for getting that song stuck in my head now.
You can dance if you want to. What is that song? Safety dance?
Safety dance?
Don't know.
Hattie Hayes
Wow.
writes, YTA for not inviting me over to dance with your birds. This sounds awesome. Now that's a healthy attitude.
Yeah.
Bird dance
Yeah.
party. Woo.
I think maybe he should put out like a thing like, who wants to come dance for my birds? No, that'd be weird. He'd be inviting people into his home.
Yeah, just invite all of Reddit.
Mike Merlot writes, I don't know about asshole, but you need to find alternative means of keeping your birds quiet. Okay, Mike.
Right. I mean, yes.
Sure.
It's no fun.
Yes, but again, imagine you go to someone's house and they're like, oh, my dog will bark unless you do 2 minutes of stand-up comedy. I would be like, what an outrageous,
That's a lot of pressure.
Okay, but what is this, Hogwarts? I mean, God, life is so
what?
Great. Life is so filled with meaningless bureaucracy. Oh, you want to go to Disney World? Well, you got to get a ticket to park, and then you got to get a ticket to enter the park, and it's
yeah.
I want to have random tasks assigned to me by animals.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Snow White, we can arrange this. Let's get you a dog.
I mean, I would rather be told to I would rather be given arbitrary instructions by animals than park at Disneyland.
I mean, it's a story. I don't understand these people. Zonkbat, use Zonkbat on Reddit, who I believe is an authority just from his name, writes, birds are very hard to please. They're little bugs that like to get their way.
Okay.
This is not, okay, that might be true, but what does that say about the situation? There's no verdict. There's no opinion. Are you calling the birds the assholes? They're just birds.
Well, he called them bugs.
Wait.
I can't stop thinking about it.
He called them little bugs. That in itself doesn't make any sense.
No.
The bugs are already little.
That's true.
What do you mean little bugs? Birds are little bugs? That's a terrible analogy. Stop. Shut up. You're done.
Oh my gosh.
OG Fog 2 says, it sounds to me like the birds are locked up in cages, and that's completely unethical.
Oh, God.
Are you fucking kidding? Shut the fuck up.
Okay, well, I'm going to be honest,
Thank God
guys.
you got those people from the comments.
I feel like you guys might come for me. I have a stand-up joke about this.
Okay, here we go.
And I basically say, I'll just do the joke. It's, I agree with animal rights people about one thing, and that's people who keep birds as pets. Why would you keep a bird in a cage? It has wings. Eat it.
Ha.
And, but is it wrong to keep a bird in a cage? And that's a good joke, by the way, Sarah. Don't give me your fake laugh. People love it. People don't love it. I'm bombing. Okay. So
this is Danny's first time ever doing that joke.
Yeah. Well, I did it for a dog and he let me into his house. So don't even. No. So, but is it wrong to keep a bird in a cage? What say you?
I don't, you know what? I don't know. I guess. If it's shit,
high tension.
I don't know. If it's one of those, I feel like a lot of people have birds that they just kind of let roam around their home. But I guess there's always got to be some sort of cage situation, for safety purposes, I would assume. I mean, I'm not even another pet owner. I only take care of myself. So I am no authority on this. But
yeah.
I feel like just for protection, there has to sometimes be a cage, right?
Yeah, otherwise you open the door and you're down a pet.
But you guys don't see the logic of my joke at all. Doesn't it seem a little mean to put a bird in a cage? It can fly anywhere, and you're saying
it
no.
does.
You would say that of any animal that you're keeping in a confined space.
Oh, but a dog? I mean, a dog is happy as a clam in air conditioning.
Just because a bird has wings doesn't mean it always wants to be flying. Sometimes it wants to stand there.
Point.
That's so deep.
You have legs, but you're not always walking. You get tired.
I love to stay home all day, so maybe you're right.
Yeah. And, your argument would be but I have legs. Well, then go outside. No, you want to stay home? There you go.
You got
Yeah,
me.
we're just going to lock you out of the house, Danny.
All right, look. People can keep birds in cages. Well, yeetedToJesus actually responded to this comment.
yeetedToJesus.
What did he say?
He wrote, the birds are in budgie breeding cages. Okay, they're the biggest non-custom indoor cage you can possibly get with the ideal bar width for cockatiels. Most of the day, they're let out for at least 2 to 3 hours a day.
Okay, this is now annoying because don't post this fun validation post if you're going to just be a dick in the comments and not accept your ruling.
Well, they were responding to someone criticizing, that they're saying it's unethical to keep birds locked up. I thought it was reasonable. Is that too far for you?
I feel like you're just supposed to accept your judgment.
I think that this is the kind of thing that people should just let this be what it is. But then again, people never do that. So
No.
Yeah, I mean, the only point here I want to make is, look, we've talked about this phrase before, and it's a little gross, but I like to say it, and it's don't yuck someone's yum, okay? The birds, they want to see you do their dance, and let's be honest, OP hasn't really said it, but he wants you to do the dance.
He does.
yeah.
So do the dance, and let life be amazing for a second.
My
Let
only
that be a story. That
My
you can
only
tell.
issue with that is, though, these birds, they are shrieking for an hour if you don't dance. If you
love
dance, you're
that.
going to keep conditioning them. When will this ever end? You're just going to be like dancing all the time.
I say let it go where the birds want.
Let the birds
Yeah.
be our overlords.
If the crows
mean-
have a novel in their head, Audrey, I think these birds have a musical.
Oh my God. You're right. That's great. I really like to hear that.
Well, I think that was so sincere. I loved it. Okay, I think we all agree, guys. AITA for forcing my family to dance for the amusement of my birds. No assholes here.
No.
None.
No.
AITA for being mad that my wife surprised me with a baby. My wife and I have been married for 8 years, and we decided a long time ago that we did not want to have kids. This has allowed us to travel the world and own multiple houses in different countries for us to visit and rent out when we are not there. I came home from work the other day and my wife said, "I have a surprise for you." Thinking it was a fun gift, I got excited. She says, "Close your eyes," so I do. And when she says open them, she is holding a onesie that says, "I love my daddy." I look at her confused and she says, "I'm pregnant and you're going to be a daddy." I am sitting there in complete shock and she says, "Isn't this the best moment ever?" I said, "No, it's not. How the hell did this happen?" She said she went off birth control a couple of months ago and wanted it to be a surprise. I am beyond furious about this and she doesn't understand why. I have since moved into the spare bedroom and she told me that I am a terrible human and that she will do this on her own because of the way I'm acting. Am I the asshole here? She did not discuss this with me. I do not want kids. I come from a family where birth defects are common.
Yikes. Is all I can
Wow.
say here.
Wowza.
This is so dark because I think in this situation, who is an asshole is not material. It's like, why are you posting to Reddit? Why aren't you figuring out like what the fuck you're gonna do?
Yeah. You need to like ready yourself to either like deal with this or leave your marriage. And like, this is not where this needs to be.
No, it's like, who cares if you're an asshole? Just talk to a lawyer. This is above our
Yeah.
pay grade, but we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about it anyway.
No, I mean, I think OP is confused. You know, I think this is a shocking situation. I think they're in shock.
You know, well,
You know?
at least he's talking about it somewhere.
Right. And that can be, and I've posted stuff on Reddit. Just for instance, I recorded myself sleeping, and I know that sounds weird to say, and that's not something you should say out loud. And I found out that I toss and turn approximately 20 times a night, and I posted to Reddit, and I said, "Is this normal?" And guess what? It got no comments. I hate you, Reddit. Please help me. But anyway, Sarah, Sarah, you're kind of backing down here because Sarah is a denier. She commented on the Facebook group, "NTA, if this is the real story, but I have trouble fully buying this went down exactly the way OP claims." Oh.
Here's why. It's not a situation where it's like you have a crazy woman who's trying to trap a guy with a kid in order to stay with her or some shit that you'd see on Maury. It seems like they've been married for 8 years. They seem to be on the same page. I don't understand what could have gotten so fundamentally wrong that she would make this unilateral decision, not tell her partner. I can't believe it's very hard for me to believe that this happened completely out of the blue.
I totally get that. I think that sometimes people can people sometimes say that they're cooler with shit than they actually are. So maybe it could have been the thing of like one time they didn't want kids, but then time went by, maybe she asked again. He was like, I don't know. Like maybe it was that, maybe there was like a gray area that she took a certain way. You know, I think that you're right, though. I don't think this is the full story.
Yeah, maybe
It's
she's been
nuts.
hinting at it and he never took it seriously or something.
Or maybe they
I
just
don't
have
know.
like super, super fucking bad communication. Like maybe they had all like, okay, they had a bunch of houses and they had all this money, but perhaps they never truly communicated. So they really don't know what the other one wants at all.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Believe men.
Oh,
no,
Believe
man.
men.
No.
No.
Oh, I will never.
No.
You will never
2 for 1. You're
believe
going to
men.
lose.
It's just one man's account. Why would he lie?
I don't know.
Why would he lie?
Is this
Because
story-
he no,
Hear me
because he
out.
wants to sound like he's right. He wants to make her seem crazy. That's what. Okay.
People on
I'm-
Reddit do
okay.
this all the
Now I'm
fucking time.
projecting.
Audrey, I will hear you to an extent on that. The one line of this that makes me cringe and does feel made up to me is, I come from a family where birth defects are common. That's not something you can just say without explaining.
You think
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
what
guess
is
if
that?
that's why it's hard to even like take a side on this kind of thing, because like if what happened, like if it happened exactly as you just said, like, no, dude, like you're fine like that. But like there is always more to the story. There is always like gray area, and there is never like one person. Like, I don't know. There's 2 sides to every story, you know?
Ooh.
I don't know. The birth defects didn't bother me that much. What bothered me was that she went off birth control a couple months ago and wanted it to be a surprise.
Ooh, that sucks.
It's pretty
yeah.
crazy to surprise someone with a kid if you guys
Yeah.
have supposedly clarified to death that you do not want kids.
Yeah, that's shitty. That's real shitty.
Well, I
bad.
wrote, NTA, your wife made a major life decision without you, for both of you. Going off birth control without notifying you is a huge breach of trust. Then trying to paint it as a fun, lighthearted surprise is manipulative.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, look, that's obvious to me. This is like, that's obviously true.
Okay.
If this went down exactly as he says, and that's why I'm like, I have to question if we're having a reliable narrator a little bit. But if we are just taking this at face value, obviously this wife is like a huge, crazy, psycho person.
Well, no, what? Now I
Totally.
think you're going too far. I don't think she's a crazy psycho.
To
mean-
go off birth control to purposely have a kid
No,
with someone
that's-
who you know doesn't want one, that's pretty crazy psycho.
Yeah,
and not tell them about it, yeah,
Absolutely.
that's psycho.
Yeah, well, it's messed up. Well, so
Yeah.
this is where it could get ugly. Here we go. Sorry. Christopher T writes, this is honestly tantamount to sexual assault. You're definitely not the asshole.
I actually would agree. There were people in the comments who were saying that it was rape. There's a form of sexual assault, or at least violation. It's called stealthing. And this term was only introduced like last year when some like Harvard professor or something wrote a paper about it. But it's basically when a guy is like having sex with a girl, they're like, we're going to use condoms, right? Right. And then he stealthily takes it off either right before. So there are not laws in the US yet about this, but it's starting to get classified as a type of sexual assault because it violates some form of consent. So I'm with him on this. I think it could be some form of violation.
Yeah.
Yes, I thought we were going to fight more on that. So that's a
No.
relief to hear.
No,
I don't
agree.
I don't think this is the same as stealthing. I think stealthing is a little more direct, and it's a lot easier for me to say stealthing is rape because I think there's more layers to it. First of all, it's like stealthing, you introduce diseases, so it's a lot worse because
Right.
birth control doesn't prevent diseases.
That's true.
But get ready for this.
Oh, boy.
I did some Googling because I did think of a male equivalent of this, which would be
Okay.
lying to a woman that you have had a vasectomy when you have not, right? Pretty much
I
the
guess
same
that's
thing.
kind of true.
You're
yeah.
saying, look, the
Yeah.
gun's not loaded, lady. Let's do this.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty similar, yeah.
Pretty similar, right? And get this, it's actually happened.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
you say that like we should be surprised.
So this guy, he was a rapist he was a conventional rapist as well. So like the cards are very stacked against him
Ah.
because I feel like
Oh, darn.
from what I,
Just another male, the victim of the biased
Well,
justice system.
I did a lot of research on this, and this is kind of all class under rape by deception woman.
Interesting.
Some horrible examples are that a guy, and this is in the United States, told a woman, like, you have a disease and the only way to cure it is if somebody fucks you.
Oh my God.
And you have to pay me $1,000.
What the fuck?
And
that sounds like what the parents from Abducted on Plain Sight would believe.
Right. And so he did it once and the laws like weren't structured in a way. So he was only charged with like larceny, like
Oh
fraud.
my God.
But then this guy couldn't stop and he did it like dozens of times. And so they had changed the law. And so then they had changed
For
the law and he
him.
did it again. And he went to,
Oh
they
my
finally
God.
got him.
They're like, it's Daryl's law.
Yeah, so finally this guy, this guy who lied about having a vasectomy got a woman pregnant and he was found guilty of rape in the UK. And so I was just saying, like, look, I can't think of any reason why this is different from that, which means I don't think there's any way to argue that this woman isn't an asshole.
Oh yeah,
Well,
she's
so you're going to call her an asshole and you would agree that this is probably a form of sexual assault, but you won't agree with me that she's a crazy psycho?
No, I don't agree with that. I mean,
what?
I mean, I'm being literal. I know we all say like, dude, you had 4 packs of Cheetos. You're fucking psycho. But like,
Oh my God.
I mean,
okay.
sorry. I mean, no, if all you mean is like I think she's a sociopath. I think it's sociopathic. Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Yes. I was not. Okay.
You just-
Dude, I
just-
get a sick trick. You are psycho, bro. You need medication.
Okay. It's not what I meant. I think that
no,
was
you're
obvious.
being careful with what you call people. That's great.
Eileen C. writes, hi, you're in an abusive relationship and nothing about this is okay. This would be the same principle as man poking holes in a condom because he wanted a kid when his wife didn't.
I agree with that.
Yeah, same.
It's kind of the same thing as a vasectomy. It's all just like you're lying about the form of birth control when the consent is relying a lot on having said birth control.
Right. Andrea P. says, NTA, you should surprise her with divorce papers.
Ooh, but I don't know what that will solve if it's his kid. He's probably legal. He's going to be on the hook for like child support, I'm imagining.
Yeah, and somebody actually wrote in on that, which I like. Daniel J. wrote that like he didn't have a father growing up, and like even though this is super awful, I don't know, because I'm cringing as I say this because I'm like, okay, if a man did this to a woman, I feel like we would all be like, leave him,
Yeah.
leave him.
Well, I think they should go to therapy and like clearly learn how to talk to each other because
Would you say that though if it was a woman?
If she wants, like, here's the thing. If he, like, whatever he wants, like, if he wants to leave, then leave. Like, then you don't want to be in the relationship or want to be with her in the first place if you don't want to work through it. Or if you want to work through it and work through it for the kid, whatever reason you have, if you want to stay, you go to therapy. You learn how to talk to this person that you have so-called created such a life with a billion houses, but like somehow this happens. So you're not doing something right. So something needs to be fixed. So it's just it's like, that's the moment. You just decide, are you in or out? I'd say that to a man or a woman. I mean, I'd probably tell a woman either way, just like, well, fuck that guy. Like, just because I'm a bitter asshole, I guess.
Welcome to the club. We meet on Wednesdays. Danny, I do see what you're hitting at. And I think there are commenters in the group who pointed this out. There's a double standard between men and women. And what's kind of underlying is like, if a man had done this to a woman, you would more easily equate it to a type of assault, right? But because we have this mental block that like, oh, men can't be assaulted.
Right.
Like, I'm here for this guy. Granted, I am a little bit skeptical. However, yeah, I think he's totally within his right to leave. I don't think it says anything about him as a person. This is a huge violation of trust and everything. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think to unpack it a little different, like, so even though I'm claiming it's analogous that this guy was found guilty, that was a Tinder date, right? Like that was a one-off, and that's a little different. Like these people have invested a lot in each other. And so I think even though this is abusive behavior and, there's a context, I guess that's it. I'm hesitant because as soon as I start to talk, I say, if a man did this to a woman, I don't know that I would let myself say that. I would be like, this is such a high form of abuse. This is an inherently toxic, like massive betrayal of a fundamental sort.
Yeah.
I do think it is. So that's why, I don't know, I guess I feel like sometimes you just can't unring a bell. And this might just be one of those things where it's like, once you know that your wife is capable of like deceiving you like this, that's a really huge violation of trust. Also, she went off, like, even to just go off your birth control and not tell your partner.
Yeah, that's
is, like,
really
big.
fucking shitty.
And then to also get pregnant and then be like, surprise, isn't this great?
Genevieve R., I thought, had a great perspective here. As someone who had to go through 3 years of IVF, which is what? In vitro fertilization. To have a kid. I love to hear tales of manipulative sociopaths getting pregnant simply by going off birth control for 5 minutes NTA.
Yeah, right. How does that happen?
So we did get one person taking quite a take here. Sarah J. wrote, whatever, babies are incredible. You're so effing lucky and you don't even realize it.
Ooh,
nope.
Bridget D. replied to her, that sounds like what conservatives tell women who are impregnated by rape.
That is literally what they tell them.
Yeah,
you know what,
it
guys?
is.
I got it. This finally clicked with me.
Here we go.
There is a difference. Here's what it is.
Okay.
It's so obvious. The difference is if a woman does this to a man, she still got to have the baby.
Yes.
She still has to take that burden on.
Correct.
And so even though it's messed up because now she's basically trapped him at minimum into a bureaucratic nightmare, right? He's going to have to pay child support. That's how that works. Whereas if a man does this to a woman, he either forces her to have an abortion, which is traumatic, or forces her to carry a baby, which is like crazy. So I think
also traumatic.
Yeah.
I think you kind of nailed it. There's a slight difference. I feel like that's it. Because to subject yourself to like having a baby is one thing. When someone else puts that on you,
yes,
and you didn't have a choice, and now you have to go through like 9 months of carrying a fucking kid, and then you have to give birth,
right,
or have this like medical procedure that you also didn't want. Yeah, because the man can just do that shit and then pretty much run away.
Right.
Yeah,
that's a big difference. I don't think that reduces the fact that there's something assaultive about it, but I think that is why, I don't know. It's hard for me to call it rape for a woman doing it to a man because she's not subjecting him to any physical, anything physically different about his life, right?
That's accurate.
Whereas he is doing that to her when you flip it.
I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah.
My girlfriend, so this weird transition to a lighter note. My girlfriend texted me today. We weren't talking about this. She goes, also, I have a surprise for you. And I said, wow, I can't wait. Kissy face emoji.
Wait, so you guys were talking about this or you weren't?
No, we weren't talking. We were talking about a completely
God.
different subject. And then she just sent me a picture of a onesie that said, I heart daddy. Very funny, this girl thinks she is.
She knew.
She thinks she's so funny.
Is Danny in the Facebook group?
She is in the Facebook group.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe she was following this along.
So I think we all agree. I think this was a good discussion. And I think it's impressive that we had it after talking about being underdressed for bats and dancing for birds.
I know.
Yeah.
From birds.
I mean,
I'm proud of
From
us.
birds
Really-
to unwanted babies. We've
really
truly
great
done it
job.
all today.
I mean, we spanned a lot there. Good for us.
AITA for being mad that my wife surprised me with a baby. I think we all agree, not the asshole, meaning
Right.
the wife is.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's the show. Audrey, tell these people where to find you. Of course, on Twitter, you are Audie Penny, AUDIPENNY.
Yeah. You can find me there. And then, my Instagram handle is the same thing. And I have a newsletter at tinyletter.com/audiepenny. And I don't know. I write shit on my website at audiepenny.com. It's all the same.
I like that.
Love it.
Consistency.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Audrey. And we will see you guys next Monday morning.